Cut.
What did I see now? Welcome, my name is Blanka Mazimela. Today I am sitting with Yamke, aka Yamke Lani, for those that don't know. And yeah, we're talking about DJ journey, where she is, where she comes from, you know, who she is, and any other thing. What else am I missing?
I think that's it, because...
am I supposed to say welcome? Welcome to Yamke's space.
Yeah, welcome to my... I've never said welcome to my channel. It's my first time saying it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel.
She speaks, by the way. She talks.
That's so funny.
She doesn't just play music, good music. She also speaks. But yeah, the journey. Look, for me, I think I'll say it before we even go deep into this thing. This is what I've always wanted to see from my point of view. And I'm not even trying to. So I've said this in another interview about a student of mine. Is that the people that I run past in my DJing career, or people that I work with in my DJing career, it's always their thing to tell about, you know, what I've either taught, what they've learned, or whatever the case is, and how we cross paths and stuff. And I think it's the best reward is seeing someone use those teachings, like really apply it in their own way, and really be like spontaneous about it. And I can say, before we even chat all other things, seeing you do it and seeing you actually doing it well and really being like immersed in it, you know, and not just saying that, and I'll say, not just playing and acting like you are playing, but really being fully immersed, being the DJ, sourcing the music, playing the music, letting the people know about sounds of music that they haven't heard before, introducing all of those things to them. That for me is what I've always wanted to see, right? And seeing that is just like the thing that just really makes me proud. So before we start,
Thank you, Mawe. That was so nice. That was so lovely. Thank you very much.
So okay, yeah.
So, I mean, you've just mentioned now, that I was your student before. For those of you who don't know, I did go to Soul Candi Institute of Music.
She was in high school.
Yes, many years ago.
Okay, she's not that old, but she was in high school.
So I was in high school. Every Friday, Blanka would have us for our practical sessions. My slot was at 4 because, again, I was in school. So straight after school, I would go to Greenpoint. Yeah. I'd walk from town to Greenpoint every Friday, have my slot from 4 p.m. till 6 p.m., walk back to take the My City and go back home. And then on Saturdays, I would have theory. You had us with theory, 8 a.m. I'd walk from home. I think it was half an hour walk, but I didn't care to catch the bus. I don't know if it's being a kid or, I don't know, nothing was an inconvenience for me. So I'd walk and yeah.
Yeah, now you probably take Uber.
Oh no, now never. I had the energy, I wasn't tired. What did I have to do? School, Monday to Friday, that was it. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. That's when I obviously met you. And how I actually got into the school is, I like to say I enrolled myself. So I did an ad. First of all, just to rewind. The reason why I started DJing, I actually didn't have an understanding of what it was really.
Really?
I promise you. Because I was a kid. I think I was 12 or 13. I just knew. So my cousin brothers, Uzokono Switch, are the ones that actually influenced me into, let's just say, music now. They had these mixes on their computer that they listened to, and I was always there with them, and I was just taken by that. And then I just loved it. So I knew I wanted to do something about the love for the music. Yeah. I just didn't know what it was. until I came across someone DJing, and I was like, oh flip, that's what I want to do then. And then I asked one of them, like, where can I do this? Then they told me about Soul Candi because they knew you. And they'd be like, oh, you can do this. It was X amount of money. I'm a teenager. I don't know I'm going to get that. I'm not going to go to my mom and be like, oh, can I please have this this amount of money for this? Although I later found that my mom was actually very supportive. But anyway, the reason why I say I involved myself is because I had this ad that I shot. I was part of a casting agency, and they paid me like a good amount of money, and all I cared for was to just enroll myself. It wasn't even like half of the money, but I don't even know where the other money went to, the balance. But I was just so glad, I was so happy and grateful that I had this money to just enroll myself at Soul Candi. So that's how I got there. And
interesting.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, look, I'd say that's also the thing that reminds you of why you start a journey. You know, mine is similar to yours in a way, where I was also a kid when I started DJing. My biggest influence was also my brothers. Brother brought home some compilations, and literally I was fascinated about the part where they mix the music into the next song. And up until I found out how to do it, that was the biggest fascination. And then, because no one, especially at that time, okay, I'm old, so this was like, old.
1985.
At the time, there was no access, there was no internet that could give you a lot of things. The cool bit about that was that it meant that you had to go and find, so you had to find a record store. You had to be the kid that is standing outside the record store, and then the record store owner would look at you and be like, why is a kid standing outside the record store? You have a chat with him, and then they're like, I just want to stand inside and just listen to some of the records. They were using vinyl back then. So it was those things of really being inquisitive and like trying to find out how to do things and all of that. And I think that sparked everything. So yeah, man, the purpose of this chat is to really just find out more about you.
Literally, like a memory just came. I remember so the course was 4, 8, 12 weeks long. And I remember, I think this was the 10th week. So I had 2 more weeks left.
Before you recorded your final mix, yeah.
And then you tell me, oh my gosh, this is so funny. I never remembered this up until this point. So then you said to me, yes, I had lost hope.
No.
Because at that moment, I feel like you were so impressed. You were like, oh my gosh, finally, 10 weeks later. And then you asked me, like, what happened? What have you been doing? And then a couple of weeks before, you had actually like given me advice saying, sometimes it's not about the doing. Just go home and like mix in your head. And to me, it didn't make sense.
And now it does make sense.
But then it makes sense now. And I did sort of try to try it back then, and hence I came back some weeks after, and then it clicked. So it was towards the end, but at least it clicked.
My belief in my philosophy is that DJs are born, right? They're not made. So when you're born a DJ, there's things that once that thing is activated, it clicks. Everything just comes back into the center, and now you've got an ear and you see and hear things in a specific way. It goes back to the thing of when you can prepare for a set. You can really go and be like, I'm going to play these 10 songs, but sometimes things change, the vibe can change, and you can see that the mood is not what you had prepped for, and therefore in your head you have to sort of like get all of these tracks that you have in mind. Now you're literally putting in the set as you go, and you're like, okay, if I play this song, this song can go with that song and an end. And that's basically mixing all of these things in your head.
What you said just now about preparing, like, oh, I'm going to play these songs and this is my set when I get to this place. I tried doing that, for example, with House Horizons EP10, Sunset Cruise. But then I was like, no, man, it's not giving. Like, because these are, I mean, I couldn't have known the vibe beforehand or the people that are going to be there. I literally played 3 songs from my planned list. And from then onwards, it just had to like come from within, I guess. And it's actually one of my favorite mixes that I've done, just because it wasn't planned. I think the planning or preparation is beforehand, maybe working on the skill itself, not necessarily like I'm going to play this song and then this one and then this one. So I think it's sort of like a behind the scenes thing, so that when you get to any point or any gig or any performance, it's just authentic and
No, it needs to be, it needs to be, because I've always had this thing of, if you're playing with, let's just say you're playing with DJs who are in the same genre, subgenre, saying an Afro tech event or something like that, there's a high chance that most of you guys are going to have the same songs, and then there's an even higher chance that everyone is going to try and play that big song, everyone's going to try and shine in a way, and most of the time it takes a very good DJ to actually be able to look at the mood and actually read the mood and play for that setting. No matter how much you've got the latest music and stuff, it's like, if you're gonna play a Sundowner set, you just have to play a Sundowner set so that people can enjoy the atmosphere, versus you playing all the big hits and all of that stuff. But I mean, that's the stuff, that's the kind of stuff that you learn at Soul Candi. But those are the types of things that you learn, but when you actually get to apply it in the field, they somehow shift a bit, because you now actually get to read a scenario and create something for that scenario. I actually wanted to ask you a question. From the years of you learning to the years of you applying, did the learning make sense? Like, did the theory make any sense, or does it make any sense?
So with theory, are you talking about production?
No, not production.
Oh, like the DJing, but DJing, in the book.
Yeah.
So it did, but I want to say after, not when I was.
Not when.
Yeah, not when.
No, because usually, I mean, it does. It usually, because it's a new language. It's like, okay, you're learning this thing now, and there's so much that you're learning, and also you're learning without applying. So you really don't get the field element yet, but that's the whole point, is that at some point those scenarios and those teachings, you really now get to see them when you actually start playing, when you start experiencing the real life.
Yeah, it's been long for me, but I remember my manager said, by long I mean like from when I went to the day I started at Soul Candi and now. And obviously in a world where we are aware what your passion or a dream that you have can actually like work out and change your life. I had this thing of, but when like it's been so long. I remember there was a time when I was in varsity where I think for a full year I didn't, like I tried to run away from DJing. It was just like, it was sad. Like it made me so sad. That like how is this thing not working out for me? And when we started doing YouTube, my manager was like, so from people's POV, they don't know that you at Soul Candi all these years ago, and they're just seeing you now. So if you started 1 month ago, this is the perspective and experience that they have of your brand and how you present yourself. So rather, I guess in a way, rather look at it that way. Like, this is when you're starting. So for me, this would be when I put myself out there, which took a lot from me to be on YouTube where people are going to see me. Well, it was very strange. So I guess what he was trying to make me understand is just work from that point, even though you've been doing this. Work from that point going forward. Then, and I can understand it now because my brand has only grown from that point up until now, not from when I started.
For me, it's good to see black female DJs who are like doing it, but who are doing it at the highest level, and they are literally themselves at that highest level. You know, they're not trying to do the many gimmicks. You'll see some gimmicks, guys, I'm sorry, but if there's gimmicks out there, right? There's a lot of gimmicks, and sometimes the gimmicks distract the real thing that people are watching, right? Or they want to listen to the music. And now we've got a talking point about, let's just say, what you're wearing or what you're doing on stage that takes away from the music, you know? And yeah, I've seen some, and guys, I'm not someone who says people need to do A, B, C, and D, but I feel like for me, music is an escape, and I feel like for a lot of people, music is an escape. They go out to actually forget their problems for a moment, and you as the DJ become the custodian of that particular part of their lives. Meaning when they go to an event or when they watch you on YouTube, you take away, if you're playing for an hour, that hour makes them feel better about whatever they're going through in life.
Yeah.
And that's something that we tend to forget as musicians or as people that play music, whatever, that we sometimes become an outlet, you know, where someone is going through a rough patch, they're clicking on your YouTube channel, you play this one song or you play this one mix that just makes their life just feel so much better. And it happens in the same way when you play out there at gigs and stuff, you know. People get so immersed in the music that for a moment you just make life better for them. You now need to keep on doing this thing.
That's true.
You know, you can't stop doing it because like there's people who are just there to just hear what you're gonna do next, you know. Also, even DJs, I'm sure you've seen DJs sitting there and being like, okay, and then they play the music from your set.
Initially, or rather sometimes I think like, the song, I love it, but like it's so maybe uncommon, just for lack of a better word. How are people going to receive it? Or maybe I have 14 songs on this checklist, but then this one random song is like out of place, but I really love it and I really want to play it. So I got to a point where, again, going back to just being authentic and true to yourself, where I would just play it regardless. And that made me feel really good to just play the song regardless because I really love it. So then moving forward, like going forward with the mixes, that really helped because I wouldn't like dread, like, I'm going to come across this song and I really want to play it, but what if people don't like it? Whereas now I'm like, I really love this song. It has 2 Shazams, but I love it. Therefore, I will play it.
And also, I mean, look at it like this. Look at it in this way. So obviously, radio and media and everything else is probably going to expose you to like 1% of the music, and everyone else is also going to be exposed to that 1%. And there's tons of producers out there, there's tons of DJs out there, there's tons of people that make music that is unheard of. And if we are all going to the same pot and literally playing what everyone else is playing, because everyone else, like you've got, let me give you a song. What's the song that Demaya. What's the song? No, Demaya, ne?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Demaya song. It's a beautiful song. Very beautiful song.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful song. And I think it was one show where I also wanted to play it, but by the time I was playing at midnight, it had already played 4 times, you know? And obviously, I mean, you can repeat a song, but I mean, it sometimes gets to a point where everyone is like, we know he's going to play Dumaya also because everyone else is playing it. With us chatting about this, right, I think a lot of people don't understand that there's probably a main reason that you wanted to be in this field, apart from your cousins introducing you via the mixes. What is the main thing that made you just be like, okay, you know what, I actually want to do this?
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier that obviously I was quite young when I was like exposed to like this certain type of music. So I think my age mates were listening to, I don't know, R&B or Chris Brown or whatever, Rihanna. However, I gravitated towards house music just because it was such a new sound to me. And then, hence, I went to Soul Candi. And in between Soul Candi and now, there's a lot that happened. First of all, I think it clicked. I knew there was something there because, again, I just had to compare myself to my friends. Literally, no one cared. Like, wait, what music? Like, what's DJing? So then I remember there was a show, I don't know if you remember on 5FM, there was a show called My House. Euphonic
On Sundays.
On Sundays. Euphonic hosted that show. I never missed it, ever. I never missed it. I actually even remember. I sent, because he posted somewhere that he wanted DJs to come, not come, but like submit, submit their mixes. I'm not even exaggerating. Every single day, he probably ignored me because it was annoying. Every single day, I sent an email with a mix. And the reason why I did that, my understanding was like, oh, there's probably other people sending it, so it's probably going to get lost in the mail. So let me just send it every single day. But now I'm thinking he was probably like this girl or this person. But there's a lot. I was inspired by the likes of Kent. He had, what was it called? The Ultimate Mix at 6. Yo.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, I think on Fridays as well.
Was it Tuesday or was it Friday? No, it was Friday.
I think it was Fridays,
sorry.
yeah.
It was
Fridays at 6, yo.
What was the hardest part though?
The hardest part for me was, I know this is going to sound like, oh my gosh, really? The hardest part for me was not getting gigs. Again, it's true, comparison is indeed the thief
of joy. Yeah.
Because I would like look at myself, I'm like, oh, I'm doing the exact same thing, but then I see someone else, be it a girl, be it a boy, they're getting opportunities and we're in the same space and we're doing the same thing, somewhat putting in the same effort, and then just nothing is coming. I remember I went through a lot of DJ competitions because I was really young, so my understanding was if I win a DJ competition,
then ultimately it will
that'll be my time. I want to perform for the people. I want people to know me for my music, my own music coming soon. But I wanna. It sounds very cliche, but I wanna give people an experience. If a lot of people know Yamke, I want it to be for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want it to have meaning. I want it to have impact. I don't want it to be random. I want it to be real.
Okay. Go back to the hardest.
So I was saying I went through all these DJ competitions. I don't know if you remember the first DJ competition. Actually, I came back the next year now after Soul Candi. I came back. I actually gave you a call. And I was like, oh, hey, can I come record? Because there was a competition that Mother FM or Mother FM, I don't know how to say it.
It's in Stellenbosch. No.
And yes, but you knew it. When I came to you, you knew it. It was a streaming
I remember.
a radio station. Yeah. So I came to you, I came after school in my uniform as usual. And you asked me what it was for. I told you I obviously had to record and then like write it onto a CD, and I had to like write my name. I'm not gonna say what my name was. It was funny, but and I submitted that. And then 2 weeks later, so it was I think it was like a Cape Town thing. So like young DJs in Cape Town. I think they were targeting high schools specifically, actually. So I made it to the top 10, which was, it was nice. I was like, oh yay, but I just wanted to be number one, because, so that I can, become, so that I can become a celebrity and a DJ and everyone knows me. I wanted to be number one. So like, okay, top 10, great. We had to go to, not go to a city, what was it called here? Ratanga.
Yeah.
Had to go to Ratanga to now perform. Well, prep the day before and then perform, which is the Saturday. However, it was cut down to 7. Again now, top 7, random, but I was a part of that top 7. I was the only girl there. Yeah, I don't know if that was the worst day of my life or what.
Why?
You were there. He came to support me, my manager. Sure, shame. You've been here. So we performed, all of us, all 7 of us, and there were prizes. There were 6 prizes.
So you didn't get?
Nope.
No, but those
all these boys, and I was the only girl there. I'm like, it doesn't matter that I was the only girl there. But I remember there was one of the guys, such a sweet boy. One of the guys actually found me on Facebook. I remember I was still on my way home. He found me on Facebook. He wrote me a long message saying how unfair that was. How could they do that to you? I don't know if he felt bad or if it was just from observation. I don't know, but apparently, so again, that just sort of enforced the, you're not good enough, or maybe looking back now, I don't care, but in that moment as a kid, it was really hard. I went again. I did a spring for Spring Fiesta. They held a DJ
competition.
Yeah.
Also, I remember.
Again, I promise you, every DJ competition I entered, this is not a flex, I would be in the top something.
So that should have been the thing that's like pings, like, oh, okay,
okay,
cool.
But why am I not being number one?
No, but look at it like this. This is not about me, this is about you. Ne? But it was 2011 or 2010, I can't remember which year. There was a DJ competition that was being run by Good Hope FM, and there were 4,000 in the Western Cape. Then it went to 100, then it went to 10, then it went to 4, right? And obviously it went to 1, then I won that. But it's not, it's not about me winning it.
Okay.
It's about,
excuse us.
It's about understanding the learnings of the journey.
Only years later, then it hit me that I'm actually grateful that I never came first, or because maybe I would have had gotten a big head, maybe, to think, oh, I'm the best.
Yeah.
I always come first and I always win. If anything, it just encouraged me to, even though I wasn't terrible, it encouraged me to keep going. And that's exactly why I kept going, actually. Even though I must say it started as I wanted to sort of like prove a point to the people who were rejecting me, but then it just became the venues that didn't want me to play. But yeah, it actually helped me with my brand and just taking myself more seriously, in just deciding where I'd like to play, where I'd like to be seen, because it's just to provide value. I'm really about providing value, and I want to go play at places where the people will appreciate the music. People come for the music. People know what to expect, but don't know what to expect in terms of not the sound. They know what sound to expect, but they don't know what songs to expect in that way. So yeah, it was really a blessing in disguise. I'm super grateful. It's life. It builds character, and character has indeed been built.
So speaking of that, is there a plan, a strategy? Is there places where you're like, I don't want to play it, and don't have to mention venues or whatever. Is there like a specificness now about you know, because of all the rejection and the hardships that you went through, where you now are able to be like, okay, cool, I know what I want, I know where I want to play,
Yeah.
I know where I don't want to play, I know the look that I want to have,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Like, is there like a 1, 2, 3, 4-year plan? Is there a brand strategy? Is there a strategy in place?
100%. I'm not going to say, oh, I don't want to go play at this place, because I mean, there's a lot of people, again, I mentioned earlier, a lot of people who have said, oh no, just because, oh, I've been rejected because of my following. Yep, because I probably had like 500 followers on Instagram. Like, oh no, this DJ has 4,000.
What venue is that?
I was told, actually, they said, oh, I remember word for word. They said, well, they said it to my manager, but I read it. They said that, oh no, we are currently focusing on DJs with a bigger following. So again, it taught me that in the industry, sometimes maybe it doesn't really matter what you have to offer, the value you have to offer, the music, the response. Because I'd played at the place before and the people loved the music. We took content, we had proof of what I could bring, but no, I have 500 followers. So
imagine.
So you can't come play here.
It's cool that you're saying that there is at least now, you know, a thought. I was still asking you that question about the strategy and everything. And also to add on to that question, how important do you think that it is for you to now say no?
It is very important, because I feel like once you are seen doing something, this is with anything, but I'm a DJ, so I'm just going to speak for myself. Once you are seen, for example, playing at X event or X gig, I feel like people, unfortunately and rightfully so, will like paint you a certain way or expect this from you now, like, oh, this is what you do. So then you can't, maybe for other people looking at you, looking at your brand, who would have loved for you to play at their event, but you don't know, and this is something that aligns with you, something that you, maybe it's a dream of mine to play, maybe at Circle, but of which it is. That's one of the places I was going to mention. But now I was playing at some like dodgy place that makes no sense, and they see me there. They haven't reached out to me yet, but they see it. So surely that's something that could perhaps cause them to take a step back, that, oh no, she's not aligning. So in terms of strategy and just brand, that has helped me a lot, because now there's a goal, there's a vision. We know when to say no, and we have said no, just because it doesn't make sense right now, and where we are trying to go, where I'm trying to get with my brand.
Okay. With that said, right, so putting it in the world, or putting it out to the world, what are, I mean, let's say top 5, I'm sure you've got more than 5 shows, so that maybe you can circle back to this and just be like, okay, I said this, I'm here. I said this, I'm here. I said this, I'm here.
Yeah.
Top 5.
So just to firstly go back on brand and strategy. So I do want to, I'm South African. I'm from South Africa. I love our music, and I love our Afro house music, and I love that it's being so appreciated outside of South Africa. Yeah. So I want to, I'd love to be like an ambassador for that. So hence Circle, I'll mention. Tomorrowland, I'll mention. However, like I said, I'm from here, so it's gonna be nice to cater to the people here, because a lot of my YouTube viewership is from here. So Kunye will be nice.
Okay, Kunye.
Wink.
Wink, wink.
Hi Ibiza 4. Again, I've seen Black Coffee do his thing. It's just so legendary. Yeah, it's iconic, and I honestly aspire. So Ibiza, and yeah, I think there was 4, but there's more,
But okay, so what I get from this is there's a very narrow spacing and alignment that you have, which means then I think over the years, going back to what we spoke about, had you not been rejected, maybe you would have been playing everything anyway.
Yeah.
You said these shows that you've mentioned, people go to those shows because of the genre of music, you know, and it gets so exciting that, for instance, you play at Okunye, you're playing for people that know the music that you're playing. Enough for you to play 50 minutes of unknown music and for everyone to still be dancing.
Yes, they love it.
Purely because they just love the music, they love the sonics, they love everything about the genre, and they're not just there for one element to say, we're just waiting for you to play the top 10
so we can dance.
So that we can dance. No, it's like the entire experience, you know. It's about the music. How many years has it been? I know you don't want to mention years. How many years though?
That's the thing. No, it's not even about that. So I can't, for example, when I came to Soul Candi, because again, this is where everything really started, because I was still in high school. So I was in grade 10 to be specific. So I then stopped, the course ended. So now I'm not going to go into the club. I was 16 to like go play for like get a gig. So I didn't do much up until maybe after high school, where I then actually got myself some sort of a residency at a Chisanyama in Gandhi Square Chisanyama in Joburg. Because I would fight for this gig. Say, I went there and I'd get there and tell them, oh, I went to Soul Candi. And I would expect, you know, please come. But I quickly realized that people don't care. They don't care. I think you have to prove yourself to a certain extent, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, I got the residency. I played there for a couple of months. So again, this was probably like 3-4 years now after. So in between that, I was just in high school, finishing school, and maybe first year of varsity, and I wasn't doing anything. I just had, hence why, because I wasn't doing much, hence why at some point, it's sort of like I got so scared that, oh my gosh, am I meant for this? Hence there was like a year where I said nothing about DJing. I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything, no attempts. So it's been it's been many years, but like in bits and pieces, but consistently nonstop. I want to say 2000, and it's now 2025. So just before YouTube, maybe 2021 or 22. Yeah, that's when it's been like consistent, where I've just been bold enough to put myself out there, and like there's no turning back. I have a vision, I have a big dream. Even talking to you about it now is still very like, it's very foreign, because you know, you share your dreams with people and they're like,
no, but okay, so
oh, you want to be international.
So this is the thing, and I'm sure we're gonna close this very soon. Your thought process, where you are, where you want to be, is key, right? And I think right now you are at a point of your career where you're doing what you want ultimately, and you're getting where you want to be, you know. Last year we played Circle, and 2016 was the year where I was sitting with the crew in a studio in Woodstock, and I literally painted the picture for everyone who was in studio, and everyone can vouch for this. And I was like, ultimately, this is where I want to end up, you know. And everyone was laughing at that fact. It was like, yeah. But then, when it happened, you know, that it actually, and it happened in such a way that we never went to Circle. You know, it was like Circle saw us and was like, guys, please, can you guys come do this here in Paris?
That's crazy.
And for me, I believe in those things, and I believe in sharing it with like-minded people who've also been exposed, but also understand the possibilities of that happening, because it's very high, you know. And it is possible because, I mean, again, like I said, you embody it. You don't just play music; it's part of you, you know. And I think that's one thing that now that you're talking to your people, you are able to really, you know, put the person behind the music that they've been enjoying all this time, and, you know, maybe for them to really get a sense of knowing you, your thought process, where you want to be, so that when you see you on the Kunya lineup, it's like, yeah, she did say so. On a Circle lineup, she did say so. Tomorrowland, she did say so, you know. And it's not just you now being in a random lineup and just being like, and then, you know. And it's key, and I think I feel like it's key. It's key for other DJs to also know, whether you're male or female, is that it shouldn't just be limited to the surroundings that you're exposed to. You know, there's a lot of things that are out there that are attainable, and I think right now we are at a point in our music culture where we can get these things, you know, and we should be getting these things.
100%. It's tangible. It's possible.
All right. I think that is it.
It was long.
It was very long. I mean, we can go on and on and on. But I also think that it just goes to show, like, for me, you've been a DJ, you left, and you couldn't actually leave. It was part of you.
That's a good way of putting it.
You were like, I'm stopping this thing, but then something inside you was like, listen, this is me, you know, and that itch was always there. And I'm glad that you are now really pursuing this, and you're doing it at the highest level. And I think the only next step for you now is really to get to these, you know, these places that you really want to get to. And naturally, I think that is going to be something that's going to be happening soon, is for people to be seeing you in these lineups and hearing you in a live setting more and more. What are you working on now currently?
So yes, short-term plans and goals, and so we would like to have House Horizons Season 2 coming up. However, with like more interactive with the community, with people that would love to come experience my sets, and even have other DJs. Some back-to-backs. So that's really what's in the works right now. We did start not a YouTube, what is it? WhatsApp, community, a WhatsApp group a couple of days ago. It's called Yamke's Inner Circle. Heavy on the inner circle because it's the intention is to have it be like very community
based.
And exclusive. So there'll be a link in the description box, I believe. So if you'd like to join, that would be really nice. There'll be updates, for example, for this House Horizons on how you could become a part of it, and
that's the part where you say like and subscribe.
Like I've never asked, but I'm so grateful for the support that it's crazy. I was so scared when I started, but the way things turned out, I'm so grateful. So thank you for I should be thanking them for liking and subscribing and commenting, not asking. But please like some more and comment some more and subscribe some more, because it's been so amazing.
Join the channel.
Yeah, bro.
All right. I think that's been my sit down with Yamke. Yeah, man, I'm just excited to see you play, and to see you play amongst, you know, the greats. And really, I think you've been someone who's done it for the right reasons, and I think that's what's showing right now in your career, is that, you know, it was for the right reasons, and now the right reasons are rewarding. It's a good thing you didn't win that competition.
Oh, wow.